Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Unemployed to Unstoppable. Thank you to anyone who put a comment in the chat and voted with a thumbs up. We decided to take the Millwall job, so without further ado we'll click the start negotiation button, see what's on offer. We probably will tweak our wages up a little bit just to push our luck, and we will confirm that deal. So we are no longer the Budafok manager. It's time to say goodbye and take the next step as we enter into Millwall. So this episode, we'll have a quick look through the squad. We'll look at anything in terms of who's available, who we need to get rid of, make some plans when we get to the next transfer window, and then we'll play the first match and see how we get on in the Championship. So stick around, it'll be interesting. Big rebuild on our hands. Hopefully it'll go quite well. And there we go, confirmation. Millwall hire Williams, meant to spark some heated debate. I don't think we were the favourite for the job. Rob Jones was favourites, but we've got it. We're 16th in the Championship. They've lost 3 of the last 5 games in the league, so there's a little bit to turn around. Media prediction 18th, so we're actually doing better than the media prediction was. Fierce rivals are West Ham. We don't have an assistant manager. We have got a bit of club history in terms of trophies. We're still in the FA Cup. Out of the Carabao Cup. We do play at the Den, the Lions Den. I quite like Millwall, actually, a club I always keep an eye on how their results are going. Great training facilities, great youth facilities, so hopefully we'll get some young players coming through as well. And they've given us an idea of who our kind of best 11 is in a 4-4-2 formation. Not sure if we're playing that yet as we sort through the squad and see who our better players are, but that gives us an idea of who might be starting. Cooper, Ferrari. I mean, there's a few players I recognise in there, some I don't, but we'll evaluate them all. We'll pick a formation and we'll see what we need to do in terms of the transfer window. Work within the wage budget, grow the reputation, take care of short contracts for the older of the players, sell players before buying, which is a gimme, and then just establish ourselves top half in the Championship, which should be fairly straightforward. Things to note then, again, if you've not played before, these club vision things is they want to see direct football, they want to see high tempo pressing and making the most of set pieces, so we've got to try and fit them into our tactics. Obviously set pieces being one of the big requirements, competitive against our rivals and remain in the Championship. I'll click through and do all the inductions and we'll see how we go on. Let's couple players under negotiation. One goalkeeper on the way out, looks like, to Coventry. A move to Walsall for a left back broke down. That's kind of playing time, I'm not bothered about that. Couple strikers coming through the youth system, which isn't too bad. Certainly better than what we had at Budafok just before we left. Bit of supporter profile, so some hardcore fans, some fair weather fans, kind of the usual stuff. Expectations: will avoid relegation, reach the 3rd round, we'll settle for that. Tactics induction I'll do off camera, and then I'll bring you back when we're going through the squad and I'll have evaluated who we're looking to keep. I'll sort out so we get through the squad planner, we can have a little bit of a look at what we want to do, and then we'll see how we get on. So stay tuned, I'll be back shortly. Welcome back. So I've had an initial look at the squad. First thing is it's probably massively too big. It's far too many players. That's just the first team squad there. I think as well when you dip into it's a massive under 21 squad, and then a fairly substantial under 18 squad as well, of which there's 1 or 2 good players in there which we'd like to keep, maybe the top 5, but the rest of them we're probably looking to phase out at the earliest opportunity. Same can be said for the under 21 squad. Maybe it's down as far as the top 6. Maybe again we need to sell before we can buy, so we're going to have to let a lot of players go. So I've earmarked some of them. I think all told I've put 8 players up for sale, so put them on transfer market. I've picked a squad that I think fits the formation. Tactics wise, we've gone route 1. They like direct football, so that's what we've gone for. We'll tailor that with a little bit of set piece play, because we've got a good set piece coach, so we'll develop that in a minute. The only other thing of note I've really seen is the staff is massively lacking, so there's a huge number of staff. We've got to get an assistant manager, 6 coaches and various other staff, so I'll plod through and get them in. I'll also rationalise the squad somewhat, so I'm going to kick a whole load of these players into the reserve team and thin the numbers down to something a bit more manageable. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll put the advertisements out for the staff, and then I'll come back when some of them have come in. So stay tuned. Welcome back. So we've got a bit of a baptism of fire here. We haven't got the staff in yet, so we're light on the coaching team. We don't have an assistant manager. We've not had a chance to really settle the squad, so we've let a couple of players go away on transfer. The ones that were established, so that goalkeeper, he's been pushed out. We've rationalised the squad somewhat to keep the numbers down. We've got a first team squad of 24 now, which is quite manageable. But this is going to be our first game without too much training or getting to know them. So the first couple of games we'll settle into. We've got a home match, which is a bonus, but we're playing Swansea, who are quite a big side. So the starting lineup we're going to go with on the first game, and this will change as we go along, will be Sarkic in goals, a back four of Silva, Cooper, Ferrari and McNamara, a midfield three of Mitchell, Stankovic and Seema, and then a front three of El Ghazi, Amaku and Nisbet up front. Hopefully that'll be enough to get us over the line and get some goals. We'll see how we play in the first couple of games. Obviously we'll have to settle down how the tactics will develop to the players we've got, but I think the squad's looking not too bad. Mitchell looks a good player, Cooper, Sarkic and McNamara, so we've got a good little core there. I think we're probably a little bit light up top. That's something we'll have to address in the transfer window, but until then there's not a great deal we can do. We have to make do with what we've got, so we'll get into it. We'll get through the first team talks. We've met the players, we'll let them go out and play their own game, and we'll see how we get on in the championship. So again, all the visuals have changed. So now we're in the EFL, we've got the different scoreboards, and we've got all the different pictures when we're lining up, so you get the squad, the positions, which is all a nice touch. I quite enjoy it. A shake of the manager's hands there as we get out, and we'll get the teams out there to play. Hopefully all our camera settings will carry on from previous games, as Sarkic will deliver the ball up from the first highlight. It looks like Swansea are going to counter-attack in the early minutes. Silva's picked up the ball back to Sarkic, managed to head the ball clear, but not far enough. As the ball goes into Ballard, he has a shot, Sarkic tips it away, and they get the first corner of the game. In it goes then. They get a nice header on it, but unfortunately they can't hit the target. I say unfortunately, fortunately for us, they can't hit the target. And we'll just watch how the pattern of play develops. Not looking too good in terms of attacking at the minute, but still early doors. We'll show some encouragement out there. We are playing a direct game. It's a different style of play we had at our previous club, so it's going to take us a while to settle into what the players can do, who can pass, whether we can play that gegenpress type thing or the tiki-taka. As Silva will deliver a corner from the right hand side. In it goes. Header from Cooper puts us 1-0 up 31 minutes into the game. That's the start we were after. We want to change our fortune early on. In it goes. So two of the things we need to do: direct football and set pieces. That's a tick V good for set pieces. And now we just need to defend for 60 minutes and get our first 3 points on the board if we can, which, as you can see, would put us up to 14th in the league. So coming into half time, a one shot, one on target, one goal. It's by no means a great performance, but like I've said, first game at the club, we're going to have to do what we can. We'll get better as we go along. We'll get better as we get transfers and bring in our own players, and we'll slightly develop the football to play a bit more of a passing game in anticipation of hopefully making our way up to the Premier League in the future. Swansea with a bit of a chance now, building up from the back, ball over the top. In it goes, and it's a good block from the centre half there. Again, Nisbet not having a great game, but it could be we're just a bit disjointed in the way we're playing. In goes the corner, and thankfully we've defended it. We will send out a little bit more encouragement just to keep them going for this second half. But at this point, I've got a couple of players not playing great, so El Ghazi can come off. We'll give a run out for a Camrich, because Essie was looking a little bit nervous, and Kevin Nisbet can come off for Ganem. Just see if we can change our fortunes up front. Stankovic is looking uninterested after the feedback, which isn't ideal, especially when he's one of our better midfielders, but we'll leave it as it is and carry on for the final 20-25 minutes. again, still only one shot on target, which is enough to keep us in front as it stands. Although Matt Grimes just fired in a rocket of a free kick into the top corner, which is levelled the game. Oh, what a free kick that is. I mean, I think Sarkic should have done better. He's been beat at the near post. We've got to come and link this play a little bit more. We're not playing the greatest. We've not created too many chances. I mean, I'd be happy with a 1-1 in the first game. I would have been happier if we could have snuck away with a 3 points. But to get to know the players, to get the staff in, it's going to take a bit of time. When we get the staff in, the players' fitness and abilities will start to go up. But full-time 1-1, a credible draw at home against Swansea. But certainly some food for thought in terms of creating chances. We'll have to look through the analyticals. A bit of a dismal showing, I would agree. And certainly we want to play a bit more attacking as we go from that. So still not too bad in terms of league position. We're quite clear of the relegation zone, but we should be looking upwards, not downwards. I'll try and get through the staff and we'll revisit before the end of the episode just to see where the squad is and what we're doing. So stay tuned. I'll try and get some staff in and then we'll review that before the end of the episode. I've just had a quick peek at the scouting network just to see how we're looking for players and set them up for trying to find some young players for the future. And I've seen that we are £26,000 a week over our wage budget. So if we can, we'll take the scouting budget away into the transfer budget, and then we'll take as much transfer budget as we can into the wage budget and get that down to 22. But we're going to have to shift some players. We're going to have to bring that back down because that is a managing career ender. So we'll look at getting rid of a few more players so we can bring that down. And again, I'll come back once we've got some staff in. Welcome back. We will squeeze in a second game, seeing as we can't do anything in terms of transfers due to the excessive wage budget. So what we'll do is we'll play an away game at Ipswich. So a bit of a double match in the first episode under Millwall. We'll see if we can get some more points on the board. Starting lineup in, bit of rotation. Sarkic in goals. We've got a back four of Wallace, Cooper, Stankovic and McNamara. Midfield three of Zavara, Mitchell and Watson. And a front three of Essie, Ganem and Beaumont. Zavara, I'd like to point out, he's an 18-year-old Slovak. He looks a really handy player. He's got a lot of potential. He's already 2.5 stars at the age of 18, and he's got potential of being 4 to 5 stars. So we've got to integrate him into the squad as early as we can. This is a good chance to get him in, and hopefully he can put in a performance and establish himself in. One of the best things about Football Manager, I think, and again, let me know in the comment section, is your youth development. Is when you get a young player come through who's really good, you need to integrate them. You want to see them do well, and I think we've got a really good player on our hands there. It's just whether we can keep him or not. McNamara wins the ball back then, get a chance to try and develop a play of our own. Stankovic up to Essie on the right hand side. He drives into Mitchell, who's one of our best midfielders, gets the edge of the box, has a shot, but unfortunately he doesn't hit the target. Again, Mitchell, one of our better players. I mean, again, Zavara coming in there. We're starting to look a bit stronger in the middle of the park. We're still playing the direct kind of Route 1 type football, which I don't know, doesn't sit particularly well with me. It's not something I like to watch. However, from the recommendations at the start when we took over, I think that's what we're going to have to go with initially until we can flesh out the squad with the right players. As Ipswich build from the back, we're going to look to try and win the ball with a press and go back the other way, but they seem to have been able to play their way through our lines. Broadhead, and that's a bit of a killer for me, ex-Everton player, getting a goal against us for Ipswich. So the press isn't really working that well. I mean, we're meant to be playing that kind of high energy counter-attacking Route 1 football, but we're not really pressing them hard enough. So again, something we're going to need to review. It's still early doors. Maybe a target forward's not the way to go. We might have to change that for a pressing forward as Ipswich get a second chance with Broadhead. And this is a rough start to our career with Millwall. I'm already thinking tactic changes in terms of style of play. I mean, they've got Twanzebe there into home, who plays it to Broadhead, and again he's just wandered off our centre half and fired into the back of the net. So disappointing from our point of view. I think if we can change him to a pressing forward, I think that's probably going to be better, and we'll go with that in the future because I think that's going to give us a bit more possession winning. As the ball goes in, Cooper gets another chance at a header. Got one in the last match, but unfortunately didn't hit the target this time. Really starting to see which players are going to be the ones we keep, and Tuan Zebi makes it 3-0 to Ipswich. In a game when they're 20th in the league, we're above them, and this is going to be a bit of a killer. I'm not going to say I regret leaving Budafok, because I think this is the right move. It's just going to take a little bit of tweaking. Again, I think we're just going to have to throw the kitchen sink at this. As Ipswich get a corner, I thought they made it 4 there for a minute. That would be a disaster, as if it wasn't disaster enough already. Gannon not playing great. I don't know if I really want Nesbitt's the move, I think. It's on a yellow card, we'll get Nesbitt on. And I definitely think a style of play change is going to be on the cards here. I'll have a look through the coaching recommendations and see what else is on there, but I don't think direct football is really suiting us with his players. So Ipswich get a chance, and 4-0. So, I mean, the board are not going to be impressed 2 games into the season after taking over 1 point. I mean, arguably, we should have done better against Ipswich than we did against Swansea. But, I mean, Mitchell, one of our better players, only putting in a 6.3, so something's gone awry somewhere. Either they're not gelling or the tactic's not quite working. As we've got 20 minutes left to endure of this. 4-0 down. Nesbitt heads it away. In it goes again. I managed to get it clear. Thought Essie might get a chance for a break, but it's just relentless pressure from Ipswich at the minute. Playing the ball out the back again. They've got the measure of us. In it goes again, and 5-0. We've been saved by the linesman to keep it at 4, but I mean, this is going to be tough, especially when we can't get players around. I might have to look, see if there's any non-wage commitment loans we can get in here. I mean, transfer deadline day is coming up very soon, and certainly we're going to have to do some business. So in between episodes, there's a lot of work to do. Hopefully next time you come back, I'll have been able to get the staff in first and foremost, shuffle a couple players around, and tweak the tactics. So yeah, not the greatest of starts. 17th in the league, so we've not really improved the position in the first 2 games. We've got quite a few games left to go. I think what we'll do is we'll probably go away and I'll come back. I mean, Derby Crystal Palace probably quite good, 2 games. We should have shaped the squad up a little bit by then, and then we can see where we are coming towards the end of the season. So once again, thanks for watching. Thanks again to all those who voted for us to go to Millwall. I think it's going to be an interesting challenge, albeit not the exciting start we wanted to get off with. But thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.